Hi everyone, welcome to A Conscious Time, Mark Devote, and welcome to this video on Russel brand. I've paid for sex, your body is a temple, the ego and the Holy Spirit. Bit of a mouthful, and I will admit it is a slight clickbait. It's slightly clickbaity. We always like a little bit something provocative out there, don't we? That grabs our attention, and I felt it was for a good cause. And so let's jump into this video, which I found very interesting and very thought-provoking. And at the back end or the end of this video, it's going to be something that you can actually walk away with that is going to be uplifting and very empowering. So let's jump into it. And before we carry on, actually, if you're new to the channel, we navigate this. We talk about all things or discuss all things navigating this world with the eyes of awareness. So dropping judgment, dropping guilt, dropping doubt, and those will be the biggest pivotal changes that you will ever have in your life. You can take my word for it, and you can also go out there and corroborate what I say and put it into effect, and you will see the effects of it. All right, so let's go into it. So I'll put a link into what sparked the interest or the topic of this video by Russel Brand, and it was from a little Instagram. I woke up one morning and just browsing through Instagram, and I saw Russel Brand have this little clip. I'll put the link there, and he was quoting Corinthians, and he was quite transparent, which I found amazing. And it looks like he's actually done a lot of transition in his life, in terms of his Christian walk, in terms of Jesus, and it really looks like he's done a profound awakened transition, which is amazing and good for him. So let's jump into that. So what he did say is you can see the video, but he was mentioning from a quote, actually from Corinthians 6, 19, 20. So I'll just read it here. And the whole quote actually goes, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You are bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So, the reason why he obviously said this is because he said he had paid for sex in the past, and prostituted women, and he obviously went on to say other amazing things, and again, he was being very transparent. So my hat's off to him. He's a changed man by his works, by his fruits. But you can see that video as what I'm trying to demonstrate here. So when I watched this video, it just triggered something in me to go, wait a second. The part where it said bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, and if you've seen some of my other videos, I talk about the ego, and I draw a lot of my work from A Course in Miracles, profound curriculum, a book that has changed my life beyond words. And I mention a lot about the ego, and a quick backdrop. The ego is the false illusory thought system. It's the separation from God as opposed to thinking with God, guided by the Holy Spirit. You're either thinking with the ego or you're thinking with the Holy Spirit. And you can see this in your life because the ego is separate. It's demise, it's drama. It's always looking for drama. And I always mention some of my videos, it's not the true you. Your will is with God. Your thought system is with God. And the main premise is that the ego uses the body, and its main domain of separation that the ego uses is the body, because the body is flesh, and so it's separate from God, which is spirit. But this is where it gets very interesting, and I'm going to use. So what I did is I used A Course in Miracles. Straight away I read that quote. I listened to what Russel Brand said, and then I went into A Course in Miracles to see what A Course in Miracles says, and why I do that. And I don't use the Bible. The Bible is a profound core, a keystone or cornerstone or foundation, but it's limited as well. Even the last chapter of John, Gospel of John, even says, all the things that Jesus said could not even be contained in the whole world. So, and the A Course in Miracles is profound in its expands the Bible in profound ways. So that's why I go, because I've experienced A Course in Miracles in my life, and it's beyond words. So I went to the Course in Miracles and I saw, which was quite profound. And I'm going to read a couple of quotes, and it's going to hopefully help a lot of you out there that maybe this is something that confuses, and ultimately it's going to release you at the end of this video for ultimate freedom from fear and the most upliftment you could possibly have. So let's jump into it. I'll try and keep this as short and sweet as I do. So so it needs clarifications, a clarification, and let's see where I am here. Just looking at my computer here to keep me on track. And I've put a link as well to the full insert or text that you can actually see. I'm going to take clips of the actual full text, but you can read the whole text from A Course in Miracles. I'll put a link because there's an online link there as well that you can actually read for that. But I will jump into little text here as well. And so the first one says is, and something on a side note, I say every single day, which comes from A Course in Miracles, which is profound. I'm not a body, I'm free, for I am still as God created me. So we are not bodies, but this will make sense because we use our bodies. We give it over to the Holy Spirit for God. So the first quote that I just want to bring up here is from A Course in Miracles. When you equate yourself with a body, you will always experience depression. When a child of God thinks of himself in this way, he is belittling himself and seeing his brothers as similarly belittled. Bit of a tongue twister there. So that's profound, and that's a little bit of backdrop. And then I'm going to read the main text to corroborate or to align with what the Corinthians verse is actually saying, to unpack and give a little bit more clarity, which I'll unpack now as I read it. So, in this world, not even the body is perceived as whole. Its purpose is seen as fragmented into many functions with little or no relationship to each other, so that it appears to be ruled by chaos. Guided by the ego, it is. So, I think that's a key point there. Guided by the ego, it is chaotic, and it's ruled by the body. The body is its domain. So if the body is used by the ego, it's going to be chaotic. And so let's just move on from there. So it becomes a means by which the part. Sorry, let me go back there. Guided by the Holy Spirit, it is not. It becomes a means by which the part of the mind you try to separate from spirit can reach beyond its distortions and return to spirit. So that sentence basically means, because we are not the body, because we are created in the image of God, and God is spirit, thought, mind, if I could say those words, the point is to go back to that saying, it becomes, or this text, it becomes a means by which the part of the mind you try to separate from spirit can reach beyond its distortions and reach to spirit. So it means the part of your mind that separated itself from God, because that is the separation from God. Through the separation, the body was created. It's not real, it's illusory, but through that separation in mind, that part of your mind that you have separated creates that body. So I hope that makes sense. So when you give it over to the Holy Spirit, it can reach beyond its distortions, so the distortions of your mind, and return to spirit. And let me continue here to make a little bit more sense. The ego's temple thus becomes the temple of the Holy Spirit. So if I go back to what the Corinthians says is, and what kind of took me or shook me up, for lack of a better word, or made me think, oh, something doesn't really align there. You know, that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. It's accurate, but it's not as well. It seems a little bit misleading is not even the word. The truth is there, but what I'm trying to do is just unpack it to give more clarity through A Course in Miracles. And to end off this text is the ego's temple thus becomes a temple of the Holy Spirit, where devotion to Him replaces devotion to the ego. Because you either think with the ego or you think with the Holy Spirit. You cannot think with both. One is separation, one is wholeness. In this sense, the body does become a temple to God. His voice abides in it by directing the use to which it is put. So I find that is there's still a little bit of, it's quite in depth, but I hope that adds massive clarity and massive peace of mind, because when you give over your body to the Holy Spirit, then it's used correctly. Ultimately, you are not the body, you are spirit. Through the separation, the body was created, for lack of a better word. I'm not going to go into that, down that rabbit hole, if I can say that. And key takeaways is, hopefully this clarifies any confusion between spirit and flesh, and that's why in the Bible also says, the war between the spirit and the flesh, and the temple is within, but it's within you, and it's not your body. Materiality bodies are ultimately spirit manifesting. But we are spirit. We could talk about that till the cows come home. That's littered throughout all the profound books, on spirituality. The body is material. It's based on, carbon, hydrogen, all those basic elements. And then ultimately, to end this off on a very positive note, our true release and freedom is that we are part of God, and we are not flesh, as I mentioned, and eternal. So if that doesn't uplift you, then I don't know what else is going to, because you're not the body, you're beyond the body, created by God, eternal. So that should be the biggest lottery winning of your life. So hopefully this has added clarity, massive value. If it has, like, share, subscribe, and we'll check you on the next one.